So, what's in your socks there, Chris?
I think it's like a clone trooper, I think. Let me see. It might be just stormtrooper. It's a clone trooper.
It's a clone trooper.
On a
bright yellow sock.
Fetching bright yellow sock.
So is this your typical Sunday garb?
There's a lot of lonely socks in my house, and so I run out of those much quicker than I run out of sort of shirts and pants and things like that.
Right, so
if I'm wearing the bright yellow clone trooper socks at any point, it means I should probably stick a wash on.
Just a sock wash? Do you do just a sock wash, or do other things get bunged in?
Well, I don't want to dig through everything else to just pick socks out.
Does anybody do just a sock wash?
Probably.
Weird. I don't have that many
If you
socks.
do just a sock wash, do write in.
Let us know.
Let us know. Otherwise, we'll just carry on doing what we normally do and watch some cartoons.
Yeah.
And welcome back to the Space Jam Continuum, the show where we try to make a cohesive cinematic universe out of something that was never meant to be one. I'm Chris McLennan.
I'm Carl Noble.
And it's 1949!
Yay! I love 1949. Woo!
It's a new year.
It is.
I mean, it's
January
actually
1st.
quite an old year, but it's new. It's new to us in the Tooniverse.
It is. This is the deepest we've ever been.
I mean, surely it was deeper first, and now it's getting shallower.
I don't know.
How does it work?
How does time work?
Oh, we need to draw a sort of wormhole-y diagram of the portal and try and work this out.
Yeah, see what's deeper and what's closer.
What's closer? It's 1949.
It is 1949. We're starting on January 1st as well, so this is straight out the bag.
Yeah, they didn't muck around.
They didn't, did they?
In fact, it was almost worth me murmuring Old Lang Syne.
It really was, yeah.
Last week, then, we saw Sylvester called by name.
Yes.
He's hanging out with Porky the Fourth.
Yeah, and he's super hench.
And he's super hench. We see Bugs Bunny sort of shortly after he's been granted his wish to be the most powerful rabbit on Earth. And we're starting to see his powers manifest, but we don't think he's started to see his powers manifest.
No, I don't think he fully understands quite what's going on yet.
Yeah, he's still using a shovel to get about. He's still using his underground map. So we'll see how that starts to progress. Daffy, seems to have fallen on hard times, but we think he's in deep cover.
Yeah, so he's fallen on hard times out of choice, it would seem.
Yeah, so he's created an arc for himself, his cover story, and he's really sticking to it. And that means sleeping rough. But last we saw him, he's cozy in a department store, having been let off by Cop Porky from Porkytopia.
Yeah, who's mental, who's
insane.
Yeah, I mean, he honestly believes he's got 3 children.
Yeah, and they're clockwork little
children.
Pigs.
Yeah,
it's not a good state.
It's not, especially not if you're walking around pretending to be a policeman as well with an axe.
Exactly, axe cop.
Yeah.
So that's the lay of the land. We did posit that CINECOLOR possibly made the clones for
the Porky
Porkytopia.
Clones. Yeah. Because at first we didn't think they were clones.
No,
we just thought they were lookalikes. But CINECOLOR are involved, so...
But yeah, it was a CINECOLOR episode, and as we all know, we're on Clonewatch when it's a CINECOLOR episode. So that's what we drew from last week.
Yeah.
So any CINECOLOR episode, we're also on Clonewatch for Porky Pig, not just Hector.
Not just Hector anymore.
That's currently the lay of the land.
Yeah.
So let's jump right in with Wise Quackers, which is a Daffy Duck and Elmer Fudd number from January 1st, 1949.
All right.
I hope you've got something fucking good, because
I don't really know what to say about that.
So,
a
lot just went on. So, my biggest problem in this episode is I can't work out what Daffy's angle is at all.
No, I mean, he's flying through the air.
Which we know he can do no matter what. Like, he can do it while pretending to pedal a bike. Or
but the thing is, he is flapping, and he's like, "Oh, I'm getting tired. I'm out of condition." So I'm thinking, like, you know, he's trying to fly the way he should be flying, but just isn't.
You see, my thinking, because he'd be flying with other ducks, right?
I didn't see any other.
Yeah, it was a V shape of ducks at the start, and then he said he's losing altitude or whatever. But we know he could just crack on. Yeah. So my only explanation for why he sort of has to make an emergency landing is that, like, he wants to. He needs to get into that situation. So he starts plummeting, and he's calling on a radio, and the air traffic control, as it were, is Elmer. Now I understand Elmer's angle.
Yeah, because he's hunting.
He's hunting ducks.
Yeah.
What does Daffy have to deal with Elmer for?
Yeah.
So basically, Daffy, crash lands. Yeah. Elmer pulls a gun on him. Daffy says he'll do anything Elmer wants. He'll be his slave.
Yeah. Well, first off, he runs around pretending to be a dog, and I'm thinking that's back to the sub-dom sort of. Like, he's just like, this is something that you might want. Yeah, maybe.
But Elmer doesn't seem to bite on that.
No, but we know Elmer doesn't, though. We know Elmer's not.
Then Daffy lets you down a bit, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Like, he pretends to be, like, he puts a, I don't even know how to say this. Like he puts a, I don't know, wig on.
Yeah,
I
he
guess,
puts like a,
and then pretend that he starts doing a very racist impression of an old slave man.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
it's a shame.
Like, why? Why are you doing that?
I mean, presumably because Elmer will shoot him, and if he doesn't find something that appeals to Elmer, and the thing that appeals to Elmer apparently is having a slave.
Slavery, yeah.
So Daffy agrees to be Elmer's slave, and sort of does stuff for him, but not very well. Principally, his shaving prowess leaves a lot to be desired.
Face off.
Because, firstly he sort of steams his face off with a towel, and then he steams it back on upside down. Then he corrects that.
His face still works when it's upside down as well.
Yeah, like, I wonder if that's a hark over from when Elmer was an egghead.
Yeah.
Like, because we thought, like, the egg just sort of got a face and sort of, like, came alive. And I'm wondering how much of the face was actually real on an egghead.
That's a good
And how much of it was just sort of painted on.
Yeah, or prosthetics.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you could steam off anyone's face or just Elmer.
Yeah, it's an odd one, because like then he goes on to shave him and cuts his face to ribbons.
Yeah, but luckily, as we know, Daffy has spent a lot of time working in hospitals.
Yeah, he's got a lot of field surgery skills as well.
So he sort of sorts that out, but Elmer's not happy, and he takes him out to the chopping block. But Daffy at that point offers him. He says, "Look, I'll help you out. I've cooked you this bang up meal."
Yeah.
And it's definitely like a duck or chicken dinner.
Yeah.
And then Daffy goes on to disappoint you again, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's just, time after time in this episode, he is just disappointing. And, like, he eats this chicken / duck, and it's just like, I don't know
in its
what
entirety, pretending he's got to check it for poison.
Yeah, I don't understand. And he's cooked this meal. This is the thing. He's cooked it. I don't understand Daffy's angle through this at all. Unless it's to, I don't know, maybe stop Elmer from enjoying slavery so much.
So, they have the meal. And then Daffy escapes, and Elmer sends the dogs after him.
To go catch his slave.
To go and catch his slave.
So Elmer's disappointed me in this as well.
Yeah.
Like, he hasn't got off this line.
But I mean, I wouldn't say I expected this from Elmer specifically, but, like, I expect Elmer to disappoint.
Yeah.
So he sends the dogs after Daffy. There's not much to be gathered from that. Like, they make a little plan, they bash into each other. It doesn't, no, but that seems irrelevant. The dogs go and they get Daffy back. Daffy gives Elmer a whip.
Yeah.
He says, please don't whip me, master. And he hands Elmer a whip. Then he runs off.
Yeah.
And then he comes back dressed as Abe Lincoln.
Yeah.
And tells Elmer not to whip slaves.
Yeah, it was like, what's all this I hear about you whipping slaves? Don't. And then just turns around and walks off.
Tootles off, still as Abraham Lincoln. And that's the end of the episode.
So I'm thinking, like...
What was Daffy's purpose?
I think maybe it was
because he put himself in that situation.
Yeah, but I think it was to stop Elmer from enjoying slavery so much. I'm thinking it was to break him of that.
I mean, I could kind of see that, I suppose. Like,
it's the only thing I've got. I'm not saying that that's what happened. It's the only thing I can work out as to why. Because he put himself into that situation. He made himself a slave, and then he made himself Abe Lincoln.
I'm annoyed.
To go no, and then just leave. So maybe it took Abe Lincoln coming back from the dead to stop Elmer from, I don't know, having slaves.
But Elmer didn't have slaves before. That's entrapment. Like, it's like you can't.
Yeah, but like the thing is you're applying, like you said, entrapment. You're applying our idea to Daffy. You can't apply that to Daffy.
Daffy consented to being his slave.
Yeah. and talked him into it, in fact.
And then swung in as Abe Lincoln, who, like, for some reason in your mind has some sort of jurisdiction in 1949. It's like, yeah, you can have slaves, but if Abe Lincoln turns up, you've really got to knock it on there. If Abe Lincoln
turns up and goes, no, you've got to
it's
stop.
It's a no, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's a no from me, Elmer.
But yeah, I really don't know what's going on there. I don't know Daffy's angle, but maybe I don't know.
I mean, it's possible we won't know the full reasoning behind this until a later date.
Because
I don't know.
So, like, what do you think tipped Daffy off to the fact that Elmer might enjoy a slave? If he were to have one.
I don't know, some central intelligence from the agency. I'm not sure.
Did they profile? They've profiled him.
Yeah, and they're just like, oh yeah, he's probably going to be like that.
Oh, it's such a weird episode.
It is, but I mean, in all fairness, it is New Year's Day. They're probably all half cut and hungover.
Yeah. That's why he couldn't fly.
Yeah, he's just like, oh god, he was on his way back from a New Year's Eve party with his buddies. They're all flying in
Elmer
formation.
knew that would be the case.
Yeah, so he's out at crack of dawn.
Still not getting the slavery angle.
No, nor am I, but
I don't know.
I got nothing, man.
I mean, I have no idea about that one. I'm moving on.
Yeah, good plan.
So it's Elmer again. So we can see if he's a changed man.
I mean, you would be after seeing Abe Lincoln.
He's there with Bugs on January 15th, 1949, in the episode Hair Do. So join us for that.
All right then. I don't know how I feel about 1949.
Yeah, like, so far, everything this year has stressed me out.
That's so weird. So, basically, Elmer Fudd is, he's got a wabbit detector, and he is looking for a wabbit. And lo and behold, he comes across Bugs Bunny, and for some strange reason, they end up in the city, and they end up in a theatre. So, as Bugs is trying to escape from Elmer, they end up in a theatre. Rabbits get in cheap.
Yeah.
So it's adult, children, rabbits.
Yeah.
That's your three price brackets. Rabbits get in for 10 cents. So he gets in. For some strange reason, he decides to push his way through everybody who's in the same row as him, even though he's sat on the end seat on the other end. He just has to go in through the other door. But he loves a gag, so he's just pushing through them.
Yeah, but I think he's building to the next bit where he pushes past, then he pushes back out to go to the vending machine to get a carrot, which he pays twice as much for as he does for his ticket. And then he pushes, so he's already pushed past the whole row of people twice, then he pushes all the way back to his seat.
Yeah. Then Elmer turns up.
Bugs Bunny pushes back past, that's 4 times.
Yeah.
Elmer comes past, and then an old woman who's clearly Bugs Bunny in a bonnet starts just hitting him with an umbrella.
Saying she's sick of this.
She's saying she's sick of it. Now, question to you, Cal.
Yeah.
There is no soil in this theatre. nor do we particularly believe that at this juncture, Bugs knows about his powers, although this could be a different Bugs. But still, there's no soil in this theatre. Where did he get that outfit?
I'm thinking there's a naked old lady somewhere.
Yeah, that was my thinking as well.
I think he's nabbed it. And maybe this is where he starts getting his sort of like dressing up
His
as
penchant
old
for
lady bit.
Dressing up for lady.
Yeah.
Dressing up as a lady. So he gets Elmer kicked out by the usher.
Yeah.
It doesn't take Elmer long to find him again. He pushes all the way back along the road to his seat.
Yeah. And there's a woman sat there in a giant hat.
Which is Elmer.
And Bug says, excuse me, lady, can you take the hat off? Does, and it's just Elmer.
So then, as Elmer pursues him out, Bugs basically finds the sort of switchboard and is just
switching it.
He's switching it on and off so that it switches between intermission and curtain, and Elmer is repeatedly trampled by the
stampeded by everyone.
Entire crowd.
Yeah.
Then when Elmer tries to get back in, Bugs
pretending to be an usher.
Flashlight, pretending to be an usher, says tickets please, and leads Elmer through the dark for ages.
Yeah.
And then the lights come up and Bugs is on the stage and Elmer's at the top of a podium on a unicycle.
With dark glasses on so he can't see.
Dark glasses on so he can't see. And there's a lion at the bottom of this tightrope. And Elmer is going to unicycle down it into the mouth of the lion, which
Obviously.
he does, completely unaware of what's going on, just upset that he can't see the good show.
Yeah.
And then he ends up in a lion. Now, my problem...
Alive as well.
Alive.
He's talking.
He's like, I wonder if the guy on the unicycle made it, because he doesn't know that's him.
Yeah.
And then Bugs goes, oh, he made it all right, and that's the end. Now, that's weird. Like, this whole thing is very, very strange. Like, again, like in a similar vein to the previous episode, I don't know Bugs' angle here.
The agency seems to be sending its agents to torture Elmer.
Yeah.
This is what's happening.
Yeah. It's like, why have we got to torment Elmer Fudd? I mean, I know he's like, it just seems, I just can't get what the agency angle is on it. Now,
maybe they're trying to bring him into the fold and he's just not having it. So,
but one line thing to me is like that whatever it is, there's a lot of money behind it, because if Bugs can just turn up on stage and go, we're doing this unicycle situation.
Yeah. Here's a lion.
There wasn't another show.
No.
That was the show.
Yeah.
And Bugs knew that from the start.
Yeah. Either that or the agency have come in and cancelled whatever show was on.
Well, yeah, but my point is they still know that's what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, there's still a plan.
But I say it
and loads of people have turned out for this daring lion unicycle, whoever the fuck's on the unicycle.
Yeah, is going
triumvirate.
But like, Elmer must survive this.
Must he?
Well, yeah. Because
we've seen Bugs travel in time to bring people back to life before.
Well, that is true, but he is alive inside that lion.
Yeah, currently.
So, I mean, maybe the lion's good, just because the lion's got to be in on it. The lion's got to be an agency member.
Does he?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know, Chris. I don't know.
1949 has been very difficult so far.
Oh, God. So, I mean, we're assuming that this is non-power Bugs. Or at least, this is January 15th, 1949.
Interestingly, though, I think everything that happens from the very start of this episode is orchestrated towards this point, because at the start, he has a wabbit detector.
Mm-hmm.
And it clearly just picks up whatever, because he sees a caterpillar on it. And then he sees Bugs, the second thing he sees with this wabbit detector, which, like, it wouldn't be called a wabbit detector unless, A, Elmer wrote it himself, or B, it was specifically geared to be sold to Elmer. From the army surplus shop where he says he got it.
Yes.
So they must know Elmer gets a load of his stuff in this army surplus shop, and it's like, okay, well, we need to set the bait for this.
Yeah.
So
we'll sell him this, put it
sell
on
him
cheap.
the wabbit detector, and then he'll find you, like Bugs, just make sure you're found.
Yeah.
Then take him to the city.
Yeah.
But
why?
What's the angle?
What is the agency's angle with Elmer?
Do they use the lion to transport him to the agency where they'll,
bring him in?
Watch him?
I don't know.
Is a lion just sort of like a car?
Maybe it's not a lion.
I mean, I don't think we're going to get that from this. He looked like a lion.
He did look like a lion, but, you know.
I don't know. I didn't really think I'd say this, but let's see if Daffy Duck can make any sense of this.
Yeah, well, this is we're on Clonewatch again.
We're on Clonewatch for sure.
CINECOLOR. Daffy Duck and Tom Turk.
Yeah, you remember Tom Turk?
I do remember Tom Turk.
Yeah. This was the last time Daffy pretty much immediately resorted to selling out his friends for food by just being offered some food. So, like...
Oh, this is where my good human friend Ron came from.
This is where my good human friend Ron came from, who, for those who don't know, is a roast potato.
He's not a roast potato.
Oh, you told me he was.
No, he looks like a roast potato.
So, we are watching Holiday for Drumsticks from January 22nd, 1949. It's a Daffy Duck and Tom Turk number. Interesting that the turkey episode isn't a Thanksgiving sort of time.
Yeah.
It's in January. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So join us in watching Holiday for Drumsticks from January 22nd, 1949. It's CINECOLOR. We're on Clonewatch.
Clonewatch.
Tom Turk was blue. Was he blue before? Was he bollocks?
Exactly. We didn't have to watch too hard to find the clone there. It was immediately bloody obvious. It was Tom Turk.
Because he's blue now.
Because he's blue.
So these two, this couple has basically they've got a turkey.
Yeah.
They're looking to cook up. They put him in the yard. He's meant to fatten up.
Yeah. So they're going to fatten him up for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. It's January. I cannot stress that enough. But Daffy, he's also there in the yard, and he's wise to their game. And he goes, "Look, Tom Turk, you can't go munching down all this food. You get fat. In fact, you're already pretty plump already. Let's
they give him a lot of food to eat as well.
Yeah.
Like loads of really tasty looking food.
Yeah. But Daffy's like, look, we've got to get you fit, otherwise they're going to kill you and eat
Trim
you
down.
So he puts Tom Turk on a vigorous training regime.
Yep.
Like it's intense. Meanwhile, Daffy sits there eating all the food.
Yeah.
At which point, Cal says, I hope Daffy knows what's going to happen. I don't think he did know what was going to happen.
I don't think he did know what was going to happen.
Obviously, this results in Tom Turk being real thin.
Yeah.
Daffy being all plump. Daffy, for some reason, just shows off how delicious
he's like, look at these drumsticks.
Look at these drumsticks.
Never seen a wing like this on a duck before.
And it's resting entirely on that. It's a shame you can't eat duck on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Flashback, it's January.
Yeah, it's not Thanksgiving.
That didn't seem to bother the guy at all.
He was just like, yeah, we can.
Because he was going to fatten Tom Turk up for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's not Thanksgiving. No. He was going to really fatten him up. He was going to get him real fat for the next...
but the guy did go, it's Thanksgiving. I'm going to go out and get the turkey. So the guy does think it's Thanksgiving.
So he thought it was Thanksgiving as well.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to just fatten Tom Turk up for 10 months.
No, I've got a theory.
Give it to me.
So Daffy,
theory, not anything else.
Obviously we know Bugs Bunny goes after like the clones and stuff like that. We know he tries to stop the Super Soldier program. I think Daffy's been employed in this as well, and they know that Tom Turk has been taken to that farm to be eaten. Now, is it possible that the Tom Turk clone, if eaten, will give whoever eats it superhuman powers?
Oh, that's interesting. But then he didn't really have any superhuman powers.
Well, no, Tom didn't. But there again nodded the carrot that Bugs that Bugs knew was injected with a super serum. The carrot didn't have any superpowers.
So the super serum's there, but it doesn't necessarily work on a turkey.
Does it? Well, it maybe it's just in its DNA, so that the turkey is the super serum, and if it's consumed, it's then going to grant hideous mutant superpowers. And Daffy is aware of this and is trying to put a stop to that couple from eating it. And the only way to do that is to trim him down so he doesn't get eaten. Yeah,
it's a possibility. The other theory I had, which along the same lines in terms of why they would want to stop him getting eaten, are they trying to extract Tom Turk and like because he might have some information about who they're
possibly
hunting? Did he escape from the cloning labs. Like,
Yeah. So they're trying to save him.
they're trying to bring him in.
Yeah.
Like,
and they've sent Daffy to do that.
Yeah, just to make sure
because it seems like Daffy's been on that farm for a little while.
Yeah,
like because he seems to be.
But then
like,
was he on the farm or was he just there?
No, he was in the same yard that they put the turkey in and seemed very disgruntled. He's like, "There's not enough food to go around to feed us at the moment anyway."
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he's been there for a little while anyway.
Deep cover Daffy.
Well, exactly. That's it. Like we know Daffy goes real deep into his cover, so it's possible he's been there for like a week, knowing that they were going to be getting this turkey.
Yeah.
But yeah, he seems to be trying to stop them from eating them for some reason.
Yeah, and so
as a result, ends up getting himself chucked in the oven.
Yeah, he gets chucked in the oven. Tom Turk presumably escapes. Like, I presume off screen there was maybe Bugs extracting.
Yeah, I guess so. But this Tom has the same memories as the other Tom.
Yeah, that was interesting. You see, in the previous Tom Turk episode, which was a good few years ago now.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Like, Daffy tried to hide Tom Turk and sort of gave him quite a beating in the process. Yeah. And then towards the end of the episode, Tom Turk did the same for him.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that Daffy did it first suggests it wasn't innate nature of Tom Turk to do that.
No.
He was reciprocating Daffy's actions.
Yeah.
So it's interesting this clone of Tom Turk did it, because that suggests to me that Tom Turk himself was taken in and duplicated, not some DNA taken.
Yeah,
and they've tried to duplicate Tom Turk.
Yeah, because he's still got the same memory patterns.
But that brings me to because the fact that CINECOLOR, are the cloning agency.
Yeah,
and knowing the CINECOLOR deal from this side of the portal, do they just trace him?
Well, we did.
Do they come this side of the portal?
Yeah,
they get a cell over. They trace him, and then they just shift it to the right, and then there's two.
Like we did talk about that being a way of them actually cloning, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like we did talk about this a couple of episodes back.
And then, so do they discolor them so they can tell the difference?
Possibly.
Is it literally like? I mean, because Hector had a few different things going on, like different collars, things like that.
Yeah.
And then also different colours, like there was a dark grey, a light grey, a brown. Like, is that how they differentiate?
But possibly, or it's possible that when the light is shone back through the portal to clone, it's possible that the portal changes the colour. Because the portal maybe subconsciously is aware that it's a different
put a filter on it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you can't have two of the same.
I don't know. It's interesting though. Like it's really made me think that they do trace them, and it's put back very similar in style to the character that they trace at the time.
Yes,
and then any differences in demeanor or character come later on.
Yes,
depending on where they wind up in society. Because Hector, we were previously he's normally quite level-headed and this one's really angry. But we also know in Hector's past, he was quite a thug.
Yes.
So maybe
they traced
that just
that
came out because of something societal. Yeah. It's interesting. But I know Clonewatch is proving a catalyst for all kinds,
really
all kinds of incidents. So yeah, I mean, last we see Daffy there, he's just in the oven blowing out match after match.
I'm guessing
he'll just leave. I think he's just buying time. I think he's basically so someone can get Tom Turk out of there.
Yeah, and I think a large part of it is, do you know when you have just too much food and you're just a bit sleepy?
He's just having a lie down.
I think he's just waiting for that kind of post-food coma just to slip away. So he's like, right now I can make my move, because he's just in the oven going.
I mean, I was going to say we'll hopefully find out in the next episode, but we won't. There's no Daffy to be had next week. But
there's not.
I think we're going to have to leave it. Daffy in that predicament. Tom Turk presumably being extracted by agency operatives.
Yeah, for interrogation or something.
For interrogation debrief. They just need some information, because someone's got to crack down on this clone nonsense. Yeah. It'll be interesting to know what was happening to old JP, the millionaire. The original CINECOLOR genius, but no information on that so far, which is a shame. So I think that about wraps us up for this week.
I think it does.
Thank you very much for listening. If you do listen on iTunes, please leave us a review and a rating.
Yeah, it really helps our visibility, because at the moment we're not visible.
We are invisible. Due to lack of reviews and ratings. Literally, we know you're out there listening on iTunes, so please leave us a review and a rating.
It takes
if that's you.
It takes like a minute. Just 5 stars. Good.
Yeah. I mean, even if you just have iTunes, but you don't use to listen to that, just bung us a review. It will really help us out. Otherwise, do what you can on wherever you listen to podcasts, or just tell people.
Yeah, word of mouth. It's amazing.
Word of the mouth. Word of the mouth.
Word of the mouth. There's a new calendar. That's word of the mouth calendar.
Yeah. So that's what gets shows like this out there. And if you enjoy it, then it's very likely that someone else will also enjoy it.
Yeah.
So have a think about who that person might be. Tell them.
And gift them Space
both.
Jam Continuum.
Yeah, give them the gift of me and Cal talking nonsense about cartoons every week. Otherwise, we will see you all next week. Until then, bye.
It is a dark and stormy night, the wind lashing down and you're facing against your greatest challenge yet. A player who's gone in the wrong direction. We've all been there, you've got our story planned out, and this player heads off in the wrong direction and you've got nothing to fill that gap. Well, my name's Rob and I've started a podcast to help you. The podcast is called Lore Masters, and each week I bring you something for your game. It could be a hook, it could be an object, it could be a person, it could be a city, it could be a whole story arc. If you're a dungeon master and you want some inspiration, please check us out wherever you find podcasts. And remember, you're not alone.